It's the time you've all been waiting for. It's the night you'll remember forever. It's paid by Vikings of the past. From the first game to the last. This is Viking football. It's tradition, pageantry, and intensity. You can feel it in the air. The sound of the whispering pines. It's the no-quit mentality. It's the pride in the blue, black, and white. It's our night for heroes to shine. As the smoke builds, one team emerges. It gets pretty loud on Friday night. It's the visiting pride of the Viking might. It's time to feel the rush at Union Pines, where all opposing dreams have come to die.
The Zaxby's Coaches Show, brought to you by Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Zaxby's Friends, Family, Flavor. With your host, Chris Delambert, only on the NFHS Network, brought to you by New Image Media.
Welcome to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. I am Chris Delambert, and I'm joined by the specialist of most special guests, Rod Pass. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I am fantastic. You are the owner of the Zaxby's in the region. How many stores are you up to now?
We have 11. 11. It's because I'm losing my hair and turning gray.
And I remember when it was like 5.
Growing fast.
What's the most recent addition as far as locations?
Actually, this was the last location we built.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're our business partner's going to build some in Charlotte here soon. But the best news is bringing back the Sensation Salad first quarter next year, starting January.
Fantastic. See, breaking news, man. I love
breaking
it.
News, yes.
I love it. So tell us about the Sensation Salad.
It's an Asian salad. It comes with an egg roll. A lot of people just like to come when we have the salad. They like and just order the egg rolls because the egg rolls is great.
Really?
You get it fried, and it's got the Asian sauce. It's very, very good. Used to be on third quarter. It was a limited time offer. We're going to bring it first quarter and see if we can keep it on forever. But it's still a limited time offer, so we want to get that sale in and get the word out as soon as possible.
All right, and if you're going to order it, you might as well use the app. Best thing about the app, points never expire. I've fallen in love with your app, by the way.
Well, thank you.
It's fantastic. Any other news for us?
We're just trying to get more customers. We can always use more business.
I hear that. Have you had an opportunity with everything going on to get out and see any high school football games this year?
I've seen a couple. I've been very impressed. The Vikings have done a good job. They're playing strong. Keep on playing strong, guys.
All right. Thank you for you and all of the support that you give to our coverage of high school sports in the region. We couldn't do it without you. And here's to, another football season as we get through this one.
Exactly.
You going to be at a game this weekend?
Georgia, Auburn?
Oh, my God.
Yes, sir. I'll be at that game.
Look, I thought I was going to get to come in. I knew you were going to be here. And I thought, are we really going to do this with Missouri pulling this thing out? And you guys showed up just in time to pull that thing out.
I tell you what, every week it's tough. I mean, you never know. They're going to bring their A game. They're bringing it. Every team wants to beat
Georgia doesn't know nothing about being national champs. You take every team's best shot. You guys have been close, but no, Georgia's looking really good. I don't think anybody wants to play them. And, Bryce Young out maybe for a little while in Alabama could open the door to a repeat. We'll see how it shakes out.
I know this. In any sport, turnovers kill. That's for sure. Turnovers kill.
That's astute analysis. All right. Thanks for being with us, Rod, and hopefully we get to see you back soon.
Right. Good to be here. Thank you, guys.
We will take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side, talk some football.
At King Law Firm, we draft wills and healthcare power of attorney to protect individuals' wishes. Call King Law Firm today. The call is free, the consultation is free, the advice is priceless. King Law Firm, we fight to make it right.
Welcome back, and we have our favorite mortgage guy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Tell us what mottos got going on.
We got mortgages going on. Rates are down today. They're down about a point.
What?
Yeah. So last week we're in the 7s, and then kind of par's gone down to 6%. We're expecting it to continue to trend down for a little while. So mortgage is looking better right now.
Okay. So you guys handle new construction, refinance. What don't you do?
There's nothing we don't do.
Okay.
We all the way to HELOCs.
That was the next thing I was going to ask about. So
Yeah.
you can do HELOC for people at home. That's a home equity line of credit.
Right.
Explain how that works.
So what happens is you have value in your home, and a lot of people have value in your home. I think the number right now is 45% of all homes in the United States right now don't have a mortgage on them. So what people can do is borrow against their home, and that value is not only is that value and can be paid off over a long term and can be used whenever you need to use it, it's also like free income. So none of that money's taxed. So you could have a home that's already paid off and take $200,000 of value out of that home and use that money, and none of it's taxed.
And for those of you that are not familiar, a HELOC basically opens up a portion of the equity for credit, and you use it essentially like a credit card, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So whether it's a specific thing you're borrowing for, or if it's just a series of things and you want to have access to it, you're only going to pay on what you use as part of the HELOC.
That's right.
It's the coolest thing out there. Hidden value in equity there. So you said rates. I didn't even see rates came down a point today. What do you foresee if you look into your crystal ball with regard to rates? What do you think's happening?
So there's a lot of things going on out there in the world. There's a couple of banks over in Europe that are in trouble. So right now it looks like we're trending down. They feel like the dollar's a little too strong, so they're trying to push mortgage rates down right now to kind of get some relief in Europe. And as long as we continue to do that, I expect mortgage rates to kind of move down.
Okay. For folks that are looking across and they say, well, rates are still a little bit higher than I want. I want to take advantage if they come down.
All right,
setting you up.
Perfect product you're looking at right now is you want to look at a 2-1 buy down. And what you want to do on a 2-1 buy down is for the first year, your rate would be 2% lower than what it was at. So if I got you in at 6% today, you'd be at 4% for the first year, 5% for the second year. The third year, you'd be back to 6%, but the idea would be you would refinance during those 2 years.
Got it.
Yeah,
That
easy.
is the perfect product.
It's a cheap buy down for the seller. So instead of losing, like say your house was listed for $300,000, instead of lowering the price to $290,000, offer a $10,000 buy down, and they'll get $300 to $400 off their mortgage per month versus a 25% or $25 reduction.
So basically what you're telling me is everybody at home that thinks they know about mortgages probably needs to call you.
They probably need to call somebody.
No, man, they need to call you for
they
sure.
call me.
And if they want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
We're over the Growler in downtown Southern Pines. You can also look us up online. We're all over that, or call us at 252-412-0648.
All right, 252-412-0648.
0648.
Motto Mortgage, man. You going to get a chance to get down to Richmond or to the Richmond game this weekend?
Absolutely.
All right. You got a prediction?
Well, I can't make my prediction with all these
I know.
guys sitting over here, but I'm going to go with Richmond close to what I called last time, 70-0.
Oh my gosh. You can't make a prediction, but you're going to go with 70-0.
Well,
Wow.
I picked that for the Pinecrest game, and we lost.
Oh, fair enough. This Richmond team, man, if they got the ship righted, are they going to make a run in the postseason?
They're better. They're getting there. I think that we've done some things on defense that look really good. The offense is coming along. We were making some changes on our scheme, so I like what we're doing.
All right. In terms of, sort of lay people, I mean, you're as churched up on Richmond football as anybody I know. What does Richmond still have to work on as we get through the last couple weeks of the season?
I mean, if we're picking anything, the offense has got to get into the end zone. We're driving the ball down inside the 20 a lot of the times, but we just cannot get it all the way in. So we got to put the ball in the end zone.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
Go Raiders.
I hear you, man. It's good to see you.
You too.
All right, we'll be back on the other side, and Coach Jason Trousdale, the Union Pines Vikings, will join us, the namesake of the Coaches Show. See you on the other side of the break.
Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. From concept to design, constructed to fit your lifestyle. We use only top quality finishes to make our house your home. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. The Sand Hills residential and commercial builder of choice.
We took our signature sandwich and pumped up the base. With bacon and cheese, it's the new Signature Club, remixed by Zaxby's.
You're going to mention it again tonight.
Snuck back in. I'm Chris. This is Coach Zaxby's Coaches Show. We're here on site at the Southern Pines Zaxby's. I didn't realize this is the most recent of the additions to Rod Pass's kingdom of Zaxby's, but this is a cool little location, man.
Nice.
You get out here and eat very often?
When I do, well, on occasion come to Zaxby's.
What is your go-to sauce? I'm a tongue torch guy.
I'm a zesty sauce type of guy. I like a little zesty, not too hot, but nice and.
All right. So before we talk about last week, let's talk about this coming week. You guys are finishing up your gauntlet, where you played probably as tough a stretch as anybody in the state. You started with Lee County, then Scotland came to town. Now you guys get Richmond, the legacy program in the conference. You know, a litany of. I mean, you go out to their field and. Thankfully, you don't have to go through that and see all the numbers on the walls, retired and the NFL history and all the rest of that stuff.
Impressive.
Talk about Richmond this weekend.
Richmond, you know, they lost a bunch of guys from last year's team, but just like you just said, they have a huge, proud tradition. So they got a good quarterback. They have a really, really good tailback. Their offensive line is very big and very physical. So they present a huge challenge there. So defensively, they run a 3-3, mostly man coverage, and you know, they're a downhill team. They get after you, they fill their gaps, and they run to the ball very, very well. So it's going to be a very tough challenge for us. But you know, our guys, I'll say, you know, talk about last week. Our guys fought to the end, and you know, it was a really good football game for about 2.5 quarters.
Well, you know, you were down 20-14, about 5 minutes to go in the first half, and it was a little bit back and forth. Both teams basically moving the ball up and down the field at will almost.
Sure.
And then they caught a couple of breaks. Things kind of spiraled a little bit. But before we talk about that, you said something interesting, and I want to give you a chance to nerd out and talk coach speak a little bit.
Okay.
You talked about the fact they run a 3-3, and we're seeing more and more of that at the high school and the college level. When you and I grew up, everybody either ran a 4-3 or a 3-4.
Yeah.
Then, you know, some guys, Gary Patterson folks came in and they're like, well, let's run a 5-2. But all the rage right now with college programs is a 3-3,
right,
where you're playing with 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, some of them where you can bring pressure with any of the 3 and kind of create a 4 or 5 or 6 man front.
That's exactly
and then
right.
5 defensive backs across the back that basically, you know, play nickel all the time.
Right.
And can keep the run game in front of them. It seems from the outside looking in that guys seem to like to play that defense because it's always attacking and playing downhill. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. That's exactly right. Because with the stack, you don't know where the linebackers are coming from. They can blitz in the A gap, they can blitz in B, and then if you want to have the defensive ends come inside, they can come off the edge too. So that's the trouble with the 3-3 stack is you don't know where the blitzes are coming from.
Well, and I remember Steve Young saying in an interview years ago that if you want to confuse a quarterback, just stand all the defense up. And with a 3-3, I think it's really effective when you bring all 3 linebackers forward and you've got 6 guys on the line. You know 3 or 4 or 5 of them are coming, but you don't know who.
Right.
And especially at the high school level, it causes a problem because you got to make that read.
Yes.
Know where the ball's got to get out.
That's exactly right.
When you play a defense like this, or you play a scheme that is not common, how difficult is it to prepare? Because you've got to have your scout team playing something that they're not accustomed to. How much more difficult is it to prepare for something like that?
Well, I think you still have to try to do all the stuff that you do, and you have to be able to have a few wrinkles in just to keep them honest. We know that they're going to blitz and they're going to bring pressure, so you've got to be able to have some, so to speak, some misdirections in your bag of tricks to keep them from, just being down on you. So that's one of the keys. But you also have to still run your stuff, and if you do that well enough, you'll still have an opportunity. It still comes down to ball security. I watched a ton of the film, and if you take care of the football, there's a good chance you're going to be able to be in the game till the end. So that's the one thing we got to focus on. We got to get a little bit more turnovers, and we got to be able to protect the ball, and we got to be plus turnovers the rest of the way, regardless of Richmond, Polk, Southern Lee, or Pinecrest. We've got to protect the football, and we got to take it away.
Okay. We talked about the strength and the challenge that a 3-3 poses. No defense is perfect schematically.
Exactly.
What weakness does the 3-3 pose or give that you might be able to take advantage of?
The one thing that you also look in the back end, what are they running as far as their coverage goes. So we'll take a look at the coverages and try to attack the perimeter. And those backers are kind of tight to the line of scrimmage. You got to be able to get to the perimeter on them, because if you do that, then you can get them guys running sideways rather than downhill on you. So, it's important to attack the perimeter, maybe loosen them up a little bit, and then you can run some stuff inside.
Got it. So we saw with your game this weekend with Scotland County, we've seen your backs, especially when Ethan Biggs was in there. He's been a feature of this offense now for 3 years.
Sure.
Lining up at tailback in the running game, he has a tendency to try to get to the outside, and that's where he does most of his damage.
Right.
We saw in the fourth quarter, and I've had a couple people call me that have watched this game and been like, oh my gosh. So you subbed in a tailback late in that game who had great success going up the middle.
Yeah.
Talk about that, and talk about if that's an indicator of something we might see moving forward. Where we at? Or don't, whichever.
Well, I'm hoping. Well, the guy we're talking about is Caleb Milton, and he came in late, I think late third. But anyways, we one of our issues has been our depth, and we've lost a ton of guys to injuries. Not season ending, a couple season ending, but not across the board. But I knew Caleb had an opportunity to be a good back last year as a freshman, and he hadn't really gotten an opportunity because we've had other guys. But when we put him in there and he showed, kind of just one speed, and it's hard and he runs hard, we felt pretty good about it. And he's going to continue to get opportunities until he proves us wrong. So,
all right, very good. Scotland, we knew coming in, high-powered offense. For fans of offensive football, they didn't disappoint. A lot of weapons on that team.
Yeah.
Of course, everything sort of went their way, too. There were a couple tight calls. There were a couple things with officials. There were a couple turnovers that ended up not being turnovers.
Right.
And when you're facing a team with that much firepower, you've got to catch some breaks.
Sure.
What are your observations about that offense in retrospect now that they're in the rearview mirror?
Other than Lee, I thought they were the best offense across the board. I thought they had more the receivers they have. A few times we had good coverage, and the quarterback just threw it up, and he just went up and just got the ball.
It's got to be frustrating. You have the right call on, and
the kids,
just makes
our guys are in good position, and the number 4, their wide receiver, is just an outstanding guy. I think he goes about 6'3" or 6'4". He just goes up and just grabs the ball on us. And the other time was, he was wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. But, the quarterback threw the ball really well, which he had been inconsistent. But he was very consistent throwing the football against us. He did throw the one pick to Caleb, who's here tonight. But they run the ball well. They had 2 or 3 tailbacks, and their offensive line are physical. They blocked as physical as any team we played this year. As far as there's 2 or 3 of those guys that they're very good at run blocking, and they pull, and a couple times they blocked our guys to the track, which, you know, is what it is. But the opportunities you talked about, and I think we counted 3 where they dropped the football and they recovered their own ball. So the one, it was 20-14, they fumbled it, and who knows if we recover that ball and go down and score, we get the ball to start the second half too. So like you said, when the ball's on the ground, we got to be the team that's fortunate to get on the ball.
All right, Coach, any last thoughts before we bring out some award recipients?
You know, just excited to talk about these young men coming on.
And Cooper Rush, too, man.
Cooper, the Cowboys.
Dude, what is he, 3-0? He's 4-0 now as a starter, lifetime, right?
Exactly. Yeah, is Dak trying to come back?
Dak better be trying to come back. All right, we'll see you on the other side of the break. We're going to give away some hardware. You're watching the Zaxby's Coaches Show.
Leasing is the risk-free way to get a new Toyota at Pinehurst Toyota. When your lease is up, you could actually make a profit, or you can just turn it in and walk away. Plus, you can get a nicer vehicle for less money. Find out more at pinehursttoyota.com.
Ace Hardware in Southern Pines and Seven Lakes is the #1 backyard and barbecue Ace Hardware store in the U.S., featuring Traeger, Big Green Egg, and Weber grills. With a full line of Magnolia Home Chalk and interior paints by Chip and Joanna Gaines, and a full line of Benjamin Moore paint. We feature a complete line of Steel and Ego power tools.
Visit Randy and Jill Saunders or Kathy Thompson in Southern Pines or Seven Lakes.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Buy your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit pinehursttoyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
All right, welcome back to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. I'm Chris. This is Coach. Coach, you've got 2 young scholar athletes with you. Talk about these young men.
I sure do, and I've talked about Chris a lot, but I'll talk about him first. So Chris is our captain linebacker. He leads our team in tackles. I think he's second in sacks. He's right up there in the conference lead for both tackles and sacks. Chris had 11 tackles, a forced fumble, and the one thing about Chris is he's continually trying to get better, and he's more ticked off at the 1 tackle he missed rather than 11 that he made. So that's the one thing that I can say about Chris. He always is going real hard, and he also, he'll question the coach a time or two, which is okay, because he's a really smart kid. And, just real happy to have him. Real sad that, we've got 4 games left. Hopefully we have an additional one if we can win a couple of these ones. But he's definitely a kid that will be missed as a senior. So he's a really good kid, really good family.
All right, Mr. Gilbert, any thoughts about Richmond this weekend? Big, tough squad.
I mean, it's just another game going into it. Just one more team. Can't look at the name on the jersey, just beat the guy in front of you every play.
That's what I'm talking about. All right.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
That's impressive. And then Caleb Milton right here. Caleb's a sophomore. Tailback, also doubles as a defensive back. Caleb actually had 13 carries in the second half. His start came in the third. And for 113 yards rushing. It was very impressive. And he is a sophomore. He also doubles as a defensive back. He had an interception return of 67 yards. I thought he was going to go to the touchdown, but he allowed a quarterback to tackle him. Really good kid, really intelligent kid, comes from a really good family. Happy he's only a sophomore, so we're excited to have him for a couple more years.
All right, Mr. Melton, we have commented on telecast before about your athleticism. What I didn't know is you could do that kind of damage with the ball in your hand from the tailback spot. So how much you leaning on Coach? Come on, I need more carries.
Whenever he gives me an opportunity, I try to take advantage of it as best as possible. I'm very thankful for the offensive line I have to run behind.
Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'll lean on him to get you more carries because you were impressive. How would you describe your style as a runner?
I try to look for the hole mainly and get to the outside of the open field, as you can say, as fast as possible. I don't know. Whenever I get open field, I feel like I'm pretty dangerous.
Okay. And when running that wide zone, it requires you to read what's in front of you. Do you prefer kicking it to the outside, or do you want to get up in there and pop somebody in the hole?
I like taking it to the outside.
Okay.
But if that hole is open and I see straight grass, I'm hitting it.
All right. We were impressed. And we hope that picks up and is a harbinger of things to come. You got a bright future, a couple years left here in this program after this season. Anything else you'd like to add about Richmond or this past week?
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, congratulations, guys, on the hardware and the $25 gift card that comes with that. So you got a couple of meals you can buy here. And if you time it right with the app and get one of those buy one, get one free, you can feed yourself 3 or 4 times. That's it. All right, Coach, we'll be back on the other side with the Scholar Athlete. You're watching the Zaxby's Coaches Show.
Jen Ritchie and her staff at Everything Pines can show you all the Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen, and Bass have to offer. A trusted real estate professional with over a decade of experience. Each client receives a customized marketing plan featuring professional photography, drone footage, and floor plans designed just for them. For more information, go to everythingpinespartners.com and check out one of the hundreds of reviews. Everything Pines, showcasing the Sand Hills.
All right, welcome back to the Zaxby's Coaches Show. Coach, you've got the Union Pines Scholar Athlete of the Week with us. Introduce this young man.
Right here, this big young man right here is Antonio McAllister. He goes about 6'4", 310 on a good day. He was a tremendous blocker this week. Actually, in our Max Specs, he was our offensive player of the week because he didn't miss a block. I mean, he might have missed an assignment, but he blocked the best he's done all year. He really came off the ball well, and he stayed on his block the entire time. Really proud of him. 3.9 GPA, very, very good student. Very, very good kid. Classroom, loves the game of football, and hopefully he'll get an opportunity to play at the next level. He should get opportunities. He should get some offers.
All right, what class? Senior, junior?
Senior. He's
senior?
A senior, yeah.
All right, what does the future hold for you, Mr. McAllister?
I'm not sure yet. I want to kind of like weigh my options, I guess, and see what I can do with the rest of the season. Get more opportunities, I guess, to play at the next level.
Okay, I'm going to ask you just like I do every time we have an offensive lineman, because you guys always end up underrepresented on the show. Doesn't matter what school is, so no offense, Coach.
Yeah, that's right.
You prefer run blocking or pass blocking?
I like run blocking. Run blocking is better for like my film.
We're now 10 years of doing this show. We're at 100% on linemen, whether they prefer run blocking over pass blocking. Every one of y'all wants to get out and mash somebody head to head. It takes that mindset to be effective. You played a big athletic defensive line each of the last couple of weeks. Richmond will be no different. What are you looking for from that squad that you'll face in that 3-3?
Just another opportunity to prove that we can play with these teams, I guess. I mean, I don't really think that the name makes them who they are. I mean, I think we could compete with any team in the conference, really. But we just got to do what we do.
All right. Well, fantastic. Congratulations. And you have the Union Pines Scholar Athlete of the Week award there, along with a $25 Zaxby's gift card. So plenty of chicken to be bought with that as well. Sure. Coach, going into this week, like I said, you looked at the schedule, I looked at the schedule, everybody that follows this conference looked at the schedule and said, man, Lee County, Scotland County, Richmond County, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is.
What has to happen differently Friday night to get a better outcome than on the first 2 legs of this journey?
We've got to be able to be patient with what we're doing offensively. Defensively, we've got to force some turnovers. And we got to corral to the ball. We've got to have guys that are really hungry, running to the football, and being aggressive with the tackles. That third guy in there, he needs to strip the football off. We need to be ball hawking, and we need to take advantage of opportunities. When the ball's on the ground, it needs to be our football. It's not theirs, it's our football. And when we have that opportunity and we get those opportunities, we need to cash in with scores. I think, like I said before, football is an easy game. It comes down to taking care of the ball, blocking, and tackling. If you do those things well, you really have a chance in every football game that you play. So our kids are excited about the opportunity. They know that we have 4 regular season games, and Richmond is obviously the next one. They're a huge, historic team. But like the kids have said, you don't look at the name on the jersey. You look at the guy in front of you, and you're there to battle with him for 4 quarters.
Well, all those numbers on their Ring of Honor, none of them are suiting up on Friday.
Exactly.
So best of luck, Coach. We'll be keeping an eye on the scoreboard. I'll be at Lee County. We'll have a crew down there in Cameron on site with you. Looking forward to it, and best of luck, Coach.
Appreciate it.
As always, been a blast.
Thank you, brother.
This has been the Zaxby's Coaches Show. I'm Chris. This is Coach. We will see you on Friday night. We have games coming across the NFHS network from both schools. We'll be on hand as Lee County hosts Pinecrest, the 2 teams that sit atop the conference right now, and Richmond visits Union Pines. Should be 2 sensational ball games. And then we'll be back Monday with the Lee County Coaches Show with Lee County High School and Southern Lee. And we will be right back. Where are we going to be next Tuesday? Any ideas? We'll be at Pinehurst Toyota next week to do the Moore County Coaches Show right here at 7 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Chris. This is Coach. We are out.
Legal matters involving the family can be emotionally draining, complex, and difficult for all involved. Call the highly skilled attorneys at King Law Firm today. The call is free, the consultation is free, the advice is priceless. King Law Firm, we fight to make it right.
We took our signature sandwich and pumped up the bass. With bacon and cheese, it's the new Signature Club, remixed by Zaxby.
The Zaxby's Coaches Show, brought to you by Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Zaxby's Friends, Family, Flavor. With your host, Chris Delambert, only on the NFHS Network. Brought to you by New Image Media.